We're going to keep monitoring the rally and bring you any news as it comes. But joining us now is Lee Zeldin, former New York congressman and gubernatorial candidate, and Chris Bedford, author of the Beltway Brief newsletter. All right, Lee, that was his first rally in Pennsylvania since getting shot. What's the biggest takeaway?
Well, clearly the president is focused on defining his opponent, and you have this long far-left record of Kamala Harris that right now Kamala Harris is trying to run away from. Her campaign is the media. You have a circling of the wagons of many allies inside of the media and big tech and social media. But President Trump, as the Republican nominee, as the standard bearer, he has this soapbox to be able to define Kamala Harris on that record. And while Kamala Harris tries to flip-flop, I mean, we're in Pennsylvania right now. Kamala Harris says she wants to ban fracking. It's on video. Now she's trying to get away with saying that her position now is the opposite. And she didn't actually say in her own words. She's doing it through spokespeople. So for President Trump to get out there and define his opponent with the facts, with the truth, I think it's really important for voters out there to make an informed decision in November.
You know, Chris, right now, Kamala Harris is in the so-called honeymoon period. I mean, the Democrats are excited about her. But the truth is she has a very specific record, as President Trump has described, of everything from open borders to defund the police to, single-payer tax, taxpayer health care, single-payer health care. And how does she change that? I mean, does she actually come out and say it? Can she have her emissaries say it?
Yeah, you're right. She's in that honeymoon period. Democrats are so excited to have someone other than Joe Biden that you've seen a massive surge in support and enthusiasm for her. But right now, we haven't even gotten quite yet a clue on what she's going to do other than trying to lie about it. I mean, we've seen that both her and her friends in the media have kicked back against the fracking, her plans for banning fracking. Her plans on energy, just deny, act like to the American people straight to their face. The ideas that she ran for president on 4 years ago no longer matter. And then another thing that she's doing is she's dodging questions from the press, anything that's really off script. She wasn't today at the convention taking questions from the black journalists like Donald Trump went into, taking hostile questions. She hasn't done the kind of interviews that you'd expect. She's just out there going to events that are planned, that are coordinated. And what's funny is when Joe Biden, before he stepped down, the press was demanding he take questions, that he do off-script remarks. But now that they've got a person that they want in there, well, you're no longer seeing that pressure.
Well, it's true, Lee, that we're not going to see the pressure on Kamala Harris where, she has to defend if she's going to change her position, specifically on fracking when Pennsylvania is such an important state. She's got to say, I've evolved. I mean, or do you think the electorate just says, oh, okay, she's in favor of fracking now. It's okay. It's all good.
I think that there are people who will help in circling the wagons of that Democratic base, of the people who were part of that effort to push out the person, the leader of their party, the President of the United States, the person who got 14 million votes during a Democratic Party primary. But then there are these independent-minded people. There are voters out there who haven't yet made their mind up, and they want to hear that level of accountability. President Trump is willing to go anywhere, anytime, any place. He'll answer any question. And when you get an answer, it's not a filtered answer. It's a raw answer. He'll stand at a press conference and he'll take 3 rows of questions from everyone. We saw it when he was in the White House. He didn't have to do it, but he did. He insisted on it. He loved it. You say you can't go to this particular debate, like the debate that was hosted in June, because the channel might not be friendly or the moderators not be friendly. Well, you have actually just talked him into it. Kamala Harris, she won't sit down for that tough interview. She will not stand up for that tough press conference, and she will not go to a debate if the setting is not dictated on the terms of the left. She should get called out on it.
All right. And Chris, finally, does President Trump debate Kamala Harris? And when should that happen, if you think it should?
Yes, I think he does debate Kamala Harris. He loves the ring. He loves the debates. But all the different outlines and the rules that were set previously were set when he was expecting to debate Joe Biden. And he was willing to give so much room for that because he was so eager to get in the stage. So now it's a new candidate. They've got to come up with the new rules. And I look forward to watching that debate probably in the next couple weeks.
All right. Lee and Chris, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.